Yo, 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 what up, what up, what up? All right, let's see here. What up, what up, what up, what up? What up, what up, what up? Whoa, dog, chill out. Sorry, having a little bit of technical difficulties. All right, cool, we should be good. Dogs throwing stuff around. All right, what up? So, first thing for today, want to break down this play on Snap. Moved pretty well if you were able to get in, and it wasn't a play that, was right off the bat type of deal. So yesterday's call and put triggers, call trigger at 38.85, put trigger at 37.35. First place, there was a decent entry for a scalp of calls. Would have been this nice, very long hammer candle here at 10 a.m. Could have got a decent move out of it, and then we had two pretty ugly candles back to back. Cool, but the big move today on Snap would have been right in here. We get this close underneath that 37.35, which had defended all day long, right? Next candle tests up towards 37.35, and then we get a flush perfectly down to that 36.8 level, which was my first price target on Snap. Nice flush down, and then we just consolidate all day. Could have got a nice little play after a reclaim of 36.8 later in the day, but that big move took some patience, and we finally got that close under that 37.35. Nice little flush down. Probably 30-40% gain. I didn't play Snap today personally, but it respected those levels really, really nice. And that was, one that I really, really liked when I went back and reviewed over some trades, looked at some levels, really liked Snap. All right, now let's get into fun. Let's create a watch list. So first thing, we're going to start with unusual whales, of course. Facebook's the one that sticks out to me. 3-to-1 call to put ratio. It's down to about $200. Very, very big psych level to hold. So let's check out some flow and see what we're looking at here, if it'll load. Come on now. All right. So this is very weird to me, right? March 4th 400 call is the highest. It doesn't make much sense, whatever. So it's 200 put, definitely nice. I like that 190 put a lot, but these calls are very, very intriguing. All the way from 210 up to 220 for this week expiration. One sec. Wow. All right. This really sticks out to me. Potential for a big bounce. If we get a green mark tomorrow, I expect Facebook very, very good bounce off that 200 level. And I like the fact that flow is coming in, especially for those 220, 225s up to 220 calls. We have some range here up to 230. I think that's a bit too far OTM, but I also like the downside down to these 190s. Pretty respectable in terms of a premium, but they're also $12 out of the money. So this is more of a bigger account type play, but the range is certainly there. The flow's pretty bullish in terms of expecting a bounce, and it needs to hold that 200 level. Very, very big key level to hold. Next one that I looked at. I've never played Rivian myself, but looking at this flow, it's very, very intriguing. Well, that's Facebook. One sec. All right, so looking at this flow, two things that stick out. 70 call, 60 put. Cool. We finished today at 62.43. If we look at Rivian, it looks like we're in a nice consolidation phase here after a downtrend. Levels that are definitely very big, all the way up to 71.25. Looks big, but the downside is there for sure. Looks like we did fall a little bit out of this trend line here. today. So if we can see some follow through, this can definitely go back down towards that 55, 50 range. Really, really nice. I like the fact that we have nice volume here on the puts, even down to these 50 puts, 55 puts. Not as much volume, right? But they're still getting hit, which is nice to see. But this really intrigues me here. Highest volume is on those 70 calls, and the highest volume for puts is on those 60 puts. Puts are a little bit closer to the money, respectable. But if this can break out, looks like people are targeting that 70 level. 65 is definitely in a level that people are targeting as well, but that 70 really, really sticks out to me. Next, this is my baby. So Neo. I like EV names. Rivian's more of a larger account type play, but Neo, very, very good for smaller accounts. And if we look at Neo, it's at a very, very crucial spot in order for make or break, right? Like it fell through this very big support that had held multiple times, and 20 under, 21.3, about 20 is the next real big level that we need to hold. And looking at this flow, 22, 23 calls, I like that. But this 318.15 put really entices me. It's $6 out of the money, only a month, a little under a month from expiration. So that's one that definitely sticks out. People are taking these 120, 20, 23, 100 calls, which is okay, whatever. Not going to focus too much on that, but I like the fact that this 318 put is getting hit. 225, 20 puts getting hit. Nice calls getting hit up to these 25s. And it's in a make or break spot, right? So this has big play potential. And Neo's one, when it gets moving, it can move. Doesn't matter which side it's going to, it can move, and it can move fast. Next one. DKNG was one of the sole tickers that was green today when going through and looking at some things. So that really stuck out to me. And also because they missed on an earnings, right? So, what's holding this up? That's my thought process. But looking at the flow, 17 put, 18 put, very, very, they're getting hit nice all the way down to these 15s. On the flip side, 18s and 20s are getting hit nice. 18s already in the money, 20s are not in the money. But they have higher volume than the 19s, so this is another indicator of a possible big play both ways. Especially, I like those 17 puts, I like those 20 calls. Those would be the ones that I will play. On the upside, I like the 20 calls. Downside, of course, the 17 puts. Had some pretty weak earnings, as you can see, but there is a nice gap to fill to the upside over, let's see, what's the high here, 19.5 up towards that 22 area. So nice potential with the gap there. See how the market responds tomorrow, but DKNG was one that had a lot of strength today, even in a pretty weak market. And then lastly, this one took a little bit, it's Twitter, but I can't type apparently. All right. So the reason Twitter sticks out to me is Twitter is at a spot where it could fall. If we have a weak market tomorrow, Twitter could fall exponentially. And why I say that, only thing that I really see holding this up is this little column over here in the short term, which is nice. And looking at the flow, very, very bearish, right? Like 32, 33 is getting hit. These calls are getting hit here at 35, which is reasonable, okay. But a lot of puts coming in, a lot of different dates. I really like those 33 and 32 puts. 33s are in the money right now. 32s are not, of course, but this is one that needs to hold these levels or else it can fall, and it can fall fast. So I like that a lot in plays. Twitter's one I'm definitely going to watch. All right, let's go over some levels. Let's start here with Facebook. So looking at Facebook, right? Definitely some levels stick out up here. I think they're a bit in the too far out of the money, but the level that really sticks out to me is right on this top that we retest here at 204.8. I like that a lot. It has acted as both a resistance twice and a support over in here. We zoom out a little. There's nothing really, because it hasn't been at these levels in a long time. As we can see, VPA gap here, VPA down below. So I like that a lot as well. The first level that really sticks out over that at 204.8. 205 is going to be a big level, of course, but 206 is the level I'm going to watch after that. 205.99, 206, cool. Above that, we got a lot of congestion in these areas, but this 207.5 is going to be my next target over. And Facebook is one that can move pretty intense when it really gets moving. So I like those two levels. We'll see how it reacts tomorrow. But the real area I want to see how Facebook reacts is down here at 200. Very big psych level, and it can definitely fall very, very fast. The monthly candle on Facebook is disgusting. But underneath 200, we're going to have to use the daily to even get somewhat of a. So yeah, like Facebook hasn't seen these levels in a while. Looks like we're in a little bit of decent VPA, but there is a gap to fill. It looks all the way down to 196.9. So I'm gonna throw that in there as a target. But other than that, I think this can fall pretty fast. I like using those psych levels, but I really want to see it a close under 200. I like that. I'm perfectly comfortable entering puts under 200. DKNG. All right, let's go again here to the 15. Dog, if you don't relax over there. All right, so looking at this, a nice little cup type action. Looks like we're starting to form a handle here. So I like that a lot. I'm going to take calls over 1895. I like that. Next target over that, I'm going to zoom out because DKNG has hit these levels before. So it looks like 19.2 is a big one. With my VPA, some help from him. 19.2, and then over that 19.5, and then we have the gap fill, right? So that's something to keep in mind as well. I like that over our 19. We don't have much until 22. I don't think it'll move that fast in a day, but it can happen, right? In terms of a put trigger, I'm going to use this support or very big resistance right here at 18.23 as my put trigger. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use 18.2. I like that level better. And I think it's a little bit more, will help avoid some chops. But this is a pretty strong ticker, right? Like, weekday in the market, and DKNG was one that was green. So I'm more confident in playing the upside if we do have a strong market tomorrow. First level I'm going to watch on the downside, however, is, what is the low in here? 1768. So 17.7. I'm going to watch 17.7. A lot of congestion here on our VPA. So I do like the upside on DKG a little bit better. But, certainly could fall. And it looks like, underneath, what's the low here? 1658 is the only thing really holding us up. But I like DKNG a little bit more to the upside, especially if you have a bounce tomorrow in the market. I like DKNG. Neo. So looking at Neo, some things stick out, of course, there. But on the downside, the level that really sticks out is right here at 21.3. I will use as my put trigger. It is the high. Dog, if you don't stop drinking. All right, so 21.3 underneath that. Definitely, we do have a gap to fill here to the high. What's the high? 20.94. I like that. Throw that 20.95. I like that. And then underneath that, the level that really sticks out is all the way down here at 20.1. So that's a decent move. And Neo is one, we talked about. It can move fast. I like that a lot. And then let's go to the 15 to get a better look at this call trigger. So the call trigger I'm going to use is 22.15, and it is the level we bounced at here. Nice little VPA up to about 23 area. So, the upside potential is there, but we got to get through that 22.15 first. And then over that level that, let's see. So not too much really. Nothing crazy. This level is definitely going to be one. 22.75. We'll watch that. That'll be my first target on the upside. And the green. Oh well, whatever. Then over that, this area really sticks up all the way up here at 2296, 2295 area. So I like that, big play potential both sides. Neo's going to be a top watch for me tomorrow. Rivian, similar situation in terms of, what sector they're in, as it is an EV company. But for a call trigger, I like this right off the top of this here, but a little bit above. Over here at 63.7, pretty, let me, if I can, 63.7, cool. And the reason being, if we look, this has acted as both support and resistance multiple times, and we are in this little bit of a consolidation range-bound phase here on Rivian. Downside definitely more enticing, but I do like over 63.7, up towards 65. I don't think it has as much range to the upside per se. But I would watch, 64. Let's go to hourly, kind of take away a little bit of noise. So definitely, some areas to watch, I'd say, but this is definitely a big one. I like it up to, to 64.2. We're going to run into some turbulence. Definitely like the downside more, but it's one to watch potential both ways. And then in terms of a put, I'm going to use right underneath this long candle where we bounced off here at 60.8 for puts. My first target is going to be the lows here, 60.4 to 60.3 is going to be big. 60.4 will be that first one. I'll watch that for sure. And then underneath that, what's the low? 59.75. Okay, cool. I'm fine with watching that. 59.75, and then underneath that, a lot of wicks hitting down here about 59, 59.5. I like it down to 59 for sure. What's the high on this? 59.34. 59.25, I think, is a very reasonable downside to watch. I like that a lot. And then underneath 59.25, the wheels can fall off. As we see, VPA, not that much. Underneath really 58, but I like it underneath 60.8. Nice downside potential. Definitely will watch that. Twitter, this is my favorite downside play tomorrow. As you can tell, right, VPA, a lot above, not much below. A reason I like the downside a lot. We do have gap to fill to the upside, whatever. Cool. I think it's a pretty weak ticker, but it does need to hold these levels down in here. In terms of a call and put trigger, for the puts, I will use this level right here before we bounced at 32.65. I'll show this on the 15. It's a little bit more clear. Go over here to the 15. So 32.65. It comes from right over here, right? Right before we bounce, that is the level that we reclaim, bounce off of. So I like that a lot, 32.65. And then for the over, I like over 33.25, which is the high, all these highs down in here before we ultimately fell throughout the day. Nice little VPA setting up. Whoops. All right, cool. Over 33.25, I will be watching 33.4 very, very closely. Very big level here, not only on the VPA, but also a level that has acted as both support and resistance intraday. And one level to definitely watch. Over that, I don't like the downside or the upside as much, as I talked about, but the downside I love. Especially that hourly candle. Look at that. That's a massive bearish candle after a pretty ugly candle here. Whoa, why is this doing this to me? Okay. Can I zoom? What the heck? I don't know what's going on. But underneath that, the levels I'm going to watch are 32.3, and then underneath that, 32. I don't know what's going on here with my... Oh, that's what's going on. All right, so underneath that, 32. Going to watch 32.06 was the low there. Let's go to the daily, see if we can pick up any big levels off this. What the heck? I don't know what's going on. All right, whatever. So definitely looks like a big level there. And then this sticks out to me. low 31.5. I'll watch that for sure. Underneath 32, I like it down to 31.5. Definitely a very big level. 30.5, cool. I like that a lot. I like the downside potential on Twitter a lot. And this, this daily chart's pretty ugly. Volume profile, very heavy above, not too much below. Let's go to the weekly. So looking at this, on the weekly we do have some. I can't deny that. But I like the downside, especially on that daily chart, hourly chart, any other chart. Weekly, a little bit more congestion, okay. But on this daily, I like that a lot. A lot of EPA, not much to the downside. Potential for the downside is definitely there. So this is probably my top watch tomorrow for the downside. I like Facebook both ways. DKNG I like on the upside a lot. NEO both ways. And then Rivian I like more to the downside. But I do think that the bounce potential is there. And once it really, really goes, Rivian will be one that rips. Definitely will follow Tesla. So that's something to keep in mind as well. But, hope everyone had a pretty decent day on the market. And let's kill it again tomorrow.